Welcome to an On the Brain review for Spider-Man Homecoming. Today I got my boy
Nabgeta,
and we're just going to be giving our thoughts, our likes, our dislikes, and what we hope for the future. So, all right, well, honestly, I think that this was a fun ride. Tom Holland as Spider-Man / Peter Parker, I think, did a great job as both. The thing about the past Spider-Man films is, one is a better Peter Parker, and the other is a better Spider-Man, and then we get into constant conversations over if they were to do it again, we would have Tobey Maguire play Peter Parker, and then Andrew Garfield play Spider-Man, which totally I think would work. But
except for the voices are different.
But the voices are different, so somebody would have to overdub it. But it was.
You had the Japanese audio for the Rangers when they're Rangers, but just had the English people be them when they're not Rangers.
That would just be weird. I think it would work, but that would be weird. And
when you transform, you know Japanese,
and people would know. Well, what the overdub would sound like. I don't know. It would just be weird, but you know what? I'd welcome it. But as far as Tom Holland as Peter Parker and Spider-Man, like I said, I think he has a pretty good balance of both. The story itself. So glad that the internet could rest, and we know that it's not just a Tony Stark featuring Spider-Man movie. So he is only in the movie sparingly. Other than that, you get to know the kids. You get to know Peter. You get to know his best friends. You get an idea of what this version of Queens is like. It was a fun ride. Honestly, is it the best Spider-Man movie? Well, I would say no, but it's up. That's subjective. It's all a matter of opinion. If you like one over the other, then good on you. But at the same time, honestly, I had fun with this. If I could have one, you know what? I'll probably save my negative for later. But Nabgeta, what is your opinion? Start it with this.
I enjoyed the film for the most part. I'm glad that the origin was already out of the way since Civil War, so that's good. True. What else? I enjoyed this person's take on the character. I mean, we've got so many movies done in such a short amount of time, so
yep.
It wasn't that refreshing to see a Spider-Man movie, but it was still enjoyable.
I think that's what it is. Since we've had multiple Spider-Man movies in a short amount of time, this didn't seem all that. I mean, the take on it was fresh, but the fact that it was Spider-Man yet again, something away from it. Yes, it's officially in the MCU, granted with it jumping through a few hoops, but I mean, because we've had only just a few movies with this character in a very short length of time, it took away the spectacle. You know what I mean? I mean, his introduction in Civil War, I still think was a great introduction. But as far as him having his own solo movie, we've been waiting for this for years. We finally got it, but it was on the heels of stuff that we
weren't really waiting for this for years. Like I said, we already had one.
No. We were waiting for him to be in the MCU proper. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people didn't think. I was one of those skeptics that didn't think it would happen anytime soon. And the fact that it's coming off the heels of the Amazing Spider-Man, it kind of takes away the spectacle. But you know what? It was a good movie. It was a good movie on its own. It was a really solid movie on its own.
Well, at least they're also able to do another one.
This is true. This is true. I believe they want to do. I believe they want to do 3.
Wow.
Spidey.
Surprising that they want to do 3. 2 would have been enough.
I think they want to do 3 or more because we're also going to see Spidey in the Infinity Wars. But also, according to the director, they're planning on making him the one of the key characters to start off Marvel Phase 4 for the MCU.
Phase 4 already started. I don't really pay attention when the phases start and stop. So.
And I try to. I'm just trying to follow their continuity because if everything's supposed to be connected, I'm trying to figure out when these things are happening. And somebody dropped a bomb recently about what they believe to be a plot hole in the years that this is supposed to take place in. But you could take that. You could take that how you.
There's plot holes in just about everything. I mean, the Marvel universe is not exempt from plot holes. They have a bunch. So
they have a bunch, but they also have one thing I will say. The reason why I love the MCU so much is because it feels like it's connected. It feels like you're reading
more connected. I was hoping that they would give us some more. The connection between the Netflix shows with this one, because it was supposed to be connected.
Right. This is just my theory. I think that we'll have a better shot of maybe the TV shows mentioning what's going down with the street level heroes from the Netflix shows than we will in the movies anytime soon. But that's just my thought on it. If I could say something about the rest of this cast. Okay, one thing, and I know everybody has talked about it. They actually look like they're still in high school.
Well, yeah, but that's been brought to death. I mean, of course you're gonna get that when you actually have a younger actor. I didn't think that was going to be an issue going forward when who they got.
Right. I mean, you still got people.
Thought it was going to be an issue, then they're sadly mistaken.
Nah, but I've talked to a couple of friends online, and they said, "Oh no, the casting was fine, but why does he still have to be in high school?"
Because none of the movies are connected, so they're always gonna start him off in high school.
He got his powers originally in high school. If you grew up watching the 94 series, he got his powers while in college. So some people get that mixed up. But if you read it...
Well, there was a reason behind it. They wanted to age him because at the time they didn't think someone that young would be a hero. They're more suited for psychic status. So Spider-Man helped change that. And, yeah. So that's why people get things confused in their head because there are so many different sources.
Right. Now, his buddy Ned Leeds, I found him to be really cool. I love the fact that he was a geek too, and he was the major computer hacker. I love that. I didn't really know much about this character because I didn't grow up reading Spider-Man comics. I read them off and on as a teenager, but I grew up watching the shows like a lot of us, and I did not know any other characters, that much except for the popular ones, Mary Jane, J. Jonah Jameson, Spider-Man / Peter Parker, and everyone else. But as far as Ned Leeds, he was a really cool best friend / sidekick, and the entire group actually they were really nice. If I was still in high school, I'd hang out with them. If I had a bunch of friends like that, which I feel like I did, I'd definitely hang out with them. I have to say about the group itself, and this is just a small gripe, I wish that the love interest was more than just the love interest. I mean, yes, she was in the she was in the group, she was in the decathlons, and she helped them train and all that stuff. But we really didn't really get to know more about anything else about her other than the fact that she's busy all the time and she's the hot senior. I would have liked to know more just to get to know her and a few of these other characters.
No, okay. I mean, I felt like that what we got was enough. I mean, love interest probably been that way before he got the new suit.
Yeah.
From Tony Stark, because remember he had a completely different suit, which you saw
right
for a short bit until he got a suit back again. I also felt that the last trailer I saw in theaters, I don't know what number because I don't number them.
It doesn't matter.
Watch all of
really
them, but the last one I saw gave away too much, especially that he lost his suit, wore the old suit, and then got it back.
Mm-hmm.
But that's mainly why I don't watch trailers. But when they're
you'll watch one, but that's all you need. And I wish they would go back.
Thanks for cutting me off, though.
Sorry, dog.
I was
sorry.
like, when I don't really watch trailers, but when you're watching a movie and you got nothing else to do, you're going to watch the trailers before a movie. And I saw that one before, as I was watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I had no choice. It was completely avoidable at that point.
Alright, so I saw Spider-Man Homecoming over the weekend. Was it now? About 2 weeks ago? No, like 10 days ago. And I did see the trilogy with Tobey Maguire back in the day. And that one was a lot more kind of like mature, because the world it was set in, it was like everyday life, but it had kind of like a grim, almost morbid characteristic to it. Whereas in the new Spider-Man Homecoming, it was very kind of like, I don't want to say comic booky, but yeah, comic booky is redundant as that sounds, because obviously he's a comic book character. But what I like about it is that the world that he was in and the way it was portrayed, it was a lot more comic. Probably because he was high school age, as opposed to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man being college age. So I think that helped a lot, because the original Tobey Maguire trilogy felt a lot more mature, whereas this one felt a lot more kind of like family-oriented, almost comedic, I guess you can say. I do like that they did that. I don't know if that's how he was portrayed in the comic books or not, so I can't say if that's true to the source material or not, but I like that it's more comic and more comedic, because it makes it more accessible to a wider audience. And I also find that the comedy bits actually help in making it attractive in general. I like that they omitted Uncle Ben, I think that's his name, and they more or less replaced him with Tony Stark, because it helps it tie into the Marvel Cinematic Universe a lot better than it would have otherwise. I also like one of the things that they did really well was the guy with the wings in the flying suit. I forgot what his name was, but he mentioned that he was doing what he was doing for his family, but they never mentioned who his family was. They never showed who his family was. Then all of a sudden, when Spidey's taking Liz to the prom, boom, big surprise right there when he opens the door and he finds the very same guy that he was fighting the whole time without knowing that he was fighting him. And during that prom scene in particular when they're fighting in the facility, and the old guy tells Pete that he wasn't trying to hit him with the suit, but he was just trying to he didn't tell him that he was trying to collapse the building, but that ended up happening. And the reason I like that a lot is because then when Spidey was trapped underneath the building, there wasn't a Deus Ex Machina to come help him. He actually had to come, he had to muster his own strength, remembering what Tony Stark had told him, and get out of there himself. So that's one of the things I like a lot, because I'm not a big fan of Deus Ex Machinas in general. So in particular, I like the fact that they didn't make a Deus Ex Machina this time around. I'm gonna leave it there.
What did you think about Michael Keaton as the Vulture?
He did a great job. Very kept a lot of interest in this villain, because sometimes you lose interest in Spider-Man villains. Sandman.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I actually like Sandman, but as far as Michael Keaton, I agree with you. I think he was an intimidating guy as well as being the villain in the suit. At first he's just the average Joe trying to make a living. That's it. His motives for going the route that he did made sense to me. They kind of made me feel bad for him a little, and that's that's funny because I never wanted to be the one that voted for the bad guy. I guess that's just still that's the little kid in me. You know what I'm saying? Good guys rule, bad guys blah blah blah. But if you have a good villain that makes you care about the the overall story even more to me, and I think Michael Keaton did a great job. He brought wing characters, but I think he was because he's a dad. Do you think he broke what many people consider Marvel's bad villain streak? At least in the movie.
I'm not gonna remember all of their villains. It's been several years since we've been watching this universe, so I'll actually have to rewatch some movies to see how bad or good some other villains are.
I would also count the Netflix villains. I think if you go to the Marvel Netflix side of things, I think they gotta have a better.
That's not fair. You can't really count those villains for good or bad villains. I mean, yeah, they have bad villains, but unlike the movie villains, they get way more time on screen, so.
True, but this is also supposed to be connected, so why not?
I'm talking about, rating them accordingly. I would just rate the movie villains separate from the Netflix series villains, because they're series villains. They get more screen time, they get more fleshed out, they have, more ambitions, more anything, because we see them for a longer period of time.
All right.
The movie villains, we might see them for a few minutes, and then a few more minutes more towards the end, where they inevitably have their fight.
All right, point taken.
Hey everybody, JayJaydarkfire here, and I'm gonna give my take to Elder Tenchi about what I think about the new Spider-Man Homecoming movie. Alright, for starters, the movie was great. I loved it. It wasn't necessarily another origin story explaining how things happened and how Spider-Man got his powers. This time, more or less, it was only small little references as to how things began, as to how Peter Parker became Spider-Man. There were a lot more scenes seeing the Web Warrior in action in this movie, which I really liked. It was really good. And as far as how the villain became the Vulture, pretty much it was like a man struggling to support his family, and then he wanted to provide for his family. They took away a job opportunity for him in the excavation site, and he was really upset. So I could kind of sympathize with that kind of villain. It was really good. Then he ends up taking, the alien tech, and he started creating his own little weaponry, and he made a good haul out of it, although he was doing illegal things with it. But at the end of the day, all he wanted to do was to give his family something good. He wanted to provide and support that family. And even, the whole beef between Spider-Man and the Vulture, it was just having to sympathize and understand both sides. Up until the point where they finally fought, when the Vulture was taking that haul from the jet. That's when, you finally understood, his reasoning for things. When you finally see and get to truly sympathize with him, he's not a horrible person, but at the same time, they one-upped each other. Even though he nearly tried to kill Spider-Man a couple times, at the end, he actually spares Spider-Man from somebody else that was trying to get back at him. And you know what? That gave mad respect points for that actor pulling it off the way that he did, and it was really, truly an amazing movie. And I actually really do recommend anybody to see that movie. I actually would have watched that movie 2 or 3 times. It was really that good. As far as the love interest towards the beginning, I thought it was odd that it wasn't MJ from the start, but it was also a fresh take as well. And it kind of blew my mind a little bit towards the end, where Michelle actually said what her nickname was. I was like, fuck, really? You're MJ? What the fuck? But I gave it 5 stars. It was a really great movie. And like I said, you get web action from the beginning all the way towards the end. And he actually learns something about himself. He learns that you don't have to rely on a suit to make you a hero. It's your actions and perseverance is what makes you a hero. And you know what? Along with Tobey Maguire as the original Spider-Man, this guy, he did great. He did great. You know what? And I'd watch him in the next Spider-Man movie to come as well. It was phenomenal. Thumbs up, 5 stars. I got no complaints on my end. Truly fantastic movie. And I hope anybody that watches it truly enjoys the movie. I got to watch it in 3D. But I'm not bragging. But this is JayJaydarkfire, and this is my take on Spider-Man Homecoming. Elder Tenchi, I pass the torch to you, man.
Yeah, I thought it had it had some really cool funny moments, but I thought that that his talks and in his little montage he had with the AI Karen was probably some of the funniest parts as far as action goes. That and that and probably the first scene where he's stopping Vulture's goons from robbing the ATM. I could probably go on and on, but I'm not going to. What about you, man?
Mine's a lot shorter than yours. I liked when Vulture accidentally killed the Shocker.
Oh.
That's not the gravity gun?
That's not the gravity gun. I found that to be really cool too. The effect on that was like really really nice. But wow.
I also like the we got confirmation at the end of the movie that the next villain that they want to focus on is Scorpion.
Right. Mm. And this will be his. Well, you know what? No, wait a minute. No, Green Goblin's been on screen twice. But yeah, this will be his first time confirmation of Scorpion and the Shocker, but without his suit.
Well, the new Shocker. The
New
other
Shocker.
one's gone.
But apparently he. The funny thing is, the guy that's the Shocker now, his character has the name of the original Shocker. So it's like, okay, so we gave you the original Shocker, but we kind of punked you at first with this guy, but now we're gonna give you.
Like I said before, this superhero movie did a much better job of changing who characters are by not telling us.
Right. Mm-hmm. Even characters that give Peter a hard time, just like Flash. He's still a jerk. He's still a bully, but he's not stuffing Peter in lockers. They're on the same level.
Well, similar level.
Yeah. I
If they
mean,
were on the same level, he wouldn't be second pick for the team.
True. They're both academics instead of one just being a jock. So, and I forgot the actor's name who's playing him, but I think he did a good job. I think he really did a really good job.
The other thing I mentioned to you before, I like how Donald Glover is uncle to Miles Morales.
Right, that was a nice subtle.
Because he wanted to be Miles Morales.
Right, and the internet was pulling for him to be Miles Morales for kind of got their wish if you watch the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon. So, but I'm glad that they hinted at Miles Morales for this one, and I'm looking forward to seeing the animated Spider-Man movie where he's actually the star. So this is
at the
a
same
good
time, anyways. Unless there's like time travel involved.
I don't know. Good question. No idea.
He takes up being Spider-Man after Spider-Man's dead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So him and Peter Parker can't not be Spider-Man at the same time unless time travel is involved. Right.
Or if you in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon and just have him being an alternative version, like, not an alternative version. I mean, like an alternative timeline where Peter did die, but in our timeline that we know, Peter's still alive. So it's a different dimension thing. So
it's still him being Peter Parker after Peter Parker. I mean, Spider-Man after Spider-Man dies.
Yeah, just in a different.
Well, you don't need
universe.
to even bring up different timeline. Like I said, it still wouldn't happen unless you have like a time machine, because everything, if you want to go by multiverse theory, creates a multiverse.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You went left, the other you went right. You went up, the other you went down. You fell, the other one of you did not fall.
Right.
I don't like to bring up multiverse theory all the time because anything could trigger it. So
I like multiverse theory.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just don't like to bring it up all the time, especially in discussion. But anywho, you got anything else to add to this? Before we end here.
I honestly, I think I said my piece on it. It was a good movie. Wasn't going into it thinking it was going to be the definitive perfect Spider-Man, because nothing is. But I think it was a great start to this part of the franchise. And I will say I do like some of the changes that they made, and everybody felt relatable. Everybody felt right. It wasn't just Just be dark for the sake of being dark, or let's just be goofy for the sake of being goofy. You know, let's add this in, let's add that in. Not everything in it worked, but the stuff that did, it overlapped everything that didn't. So it was a solid film, and I looking forward to the next one and seeing Spidey in more places in the MCU.
Well, my last thing to say is this got brought to my attention by another friend of ours recently. Apparently there was a Breakfast Club Easter egg.
Was there?
Yeah. The Easter egg was where you doing here in detention. You don't got detention.
Oh. Oh, I think I get it now. Yeah, why was she in detention? Oh yeah, she likes to draw people's
So.
Oh. Thing I didn't mention. They use that character very, very subtly. Like she was there, said her one-liner, and then that was it. Scenes that she was in, said a couple one-liners, that was it. She didn't take up the screen. She didn't hog anybody's time. Very nice use of the character. Can't wait to see her in more Spider-Man 2. Big up Zendaya.
Alright, so I guess that's it for both of us. So, you want to send us out?
Yep. Thank you, everyone, for listening to our review for Spider-Man Homecoming. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think. I'm possibly going to make this the format going forward in the future. So let us know what you think with Spider-Man Homecoming. We will be doing more broadcasts very soon. So please subscribe, ring that bell, and we'll check y'all out later.
Also, check out my stuff. I'm Nabgeta. You can find me on YouTube and Twitch.
Yep. We do. Him and I do a segment called Nabgeta's Game Pit, and he does a lot of gameplay, a lot of discussions, and we're just there to have a good time. So check him out, and we'll see you on the next video.
Peace.